Welcome to the Miniatures Paintbrush and welcome to another episode of Painting Tutorials. Alright, welcome back TMP Legion. I'm Rob, your host, and today we're going to paint up a Screaming Bell with a tutorial. You're going to see paints mentioned within the video, so you can follow along, pick up your paintbrushes, and paint yourself a Screaming Bell like I did. Let's go down to Tabletown and see how I got on with it. Alright, we're going to start off with some Rhinox hide and some P3 bootstrap leather. It's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to create a variance or a transition. You can also say wet blending a little bit. I do like wet blending. I have been wet blending a lot more, and the technique has become more and more valuable to me as far as getting sketches down and then later on glazing, so this way I can get the transitions just right. For some reason, I lost that technique in my mind. For some reason, I thought I could just go for wet blending and try out what that's all about and then refine it as much as I wanted to. And you can see how I'm just, getting some of the value into the other color, into the Rhinox hide. And bootstrap leather is P3, and P3 is great on the paint anyway. All right, time for some Balthasar Gold with some dirty aluminum, dark aluminum. And I mix those at a 50-50 rate to give this like goldish silverish tint, which is completely unique. And I do like creating colors. Now, the bands on these were so satisfying, and I hope that when I paint chaos, that it would be also as satisfying to do all that trim, because I don't know, I'm kind of nervous about all the chaos armies I have. I have everything except for the Red Corsairs, which are admittedly cool, but even I have to admit, there has to be a line. I should just choose one chaos faction and that's it. And that's going to be, the Ever-Chosen. We're going to do the Black Legion, and of course, it's Chaos United, so I'm going to have all the Chaos units together. It's going to be one amalgamation of craziness. But right now, we're going to get into the Clan Rats. You can see how well this paints up the 50-50 mix. Do not be afraid to mix up your metallics to create funky different colors. It's so satisfying to do, especially this look like an aged metal, maybe goldish in nature, almost a bronzish. Like it looks like liquid metal kind of thing, and I really do like it. I like the way that this came out. I'm very, very satisfied. Okay, now get on to the main piece itself. A lot more Rhinox hide for the wood. Again, same kind of theme here with the Rhinox hide and bootstrap leather, but this time what we're going to do is going to take the bootstrap leather and we're going to just do some dry brushing and see how that turns out. People say it's inferior technique. I don't think so at all. It's going to get things done, and it has a certain effect that I like. All right, with that there, I am going to paint a little bit of green moss down here. Like it's been in the rain. I'm getting it darker in the shadows. I definitely want to do something with the shadows. I'm going to get some green in there. All right, time for some nice and shiny Dalrani light green. And there it is, some inks going on with my browns and bootstrap leather to get this like sickly kind of green vomit kind of color, which is exactly what I wanted for it, because this is like plague bearing, so I would think that it would definitely have that green undertones to it, and it's just a light accent. As you can see, it doesn't overpower everything. All right, going up with some Talaran Sand. This Talaran Sand is great now. We're going for lighter colors. And then over here, we're going Fairy Flesh or Light Flesh for the pink that we're going to lay down here. And the pink is some red ink that I got from, Wazdaka Red, actually. And Wazdaka Red mixed in with the Fairy Flesh will get some dark undertones. Right now I'm doing the shadows, also wet blending and seeing what happens. Lots of flesh stones later, building up those highlights, and you get yourself a pink-skinned rat. Nasty, isn't it? Look at all those muscles defined. Yeah, it took forever, but I didn't want to bore you. So there it is. That's the step. All right. Next up, what we're going to do is we're just going to kick up those metallics, get those metal plates. Again, the same exact recipe. You have your Baltasar Gold and you have your dark aluminum put together, and it creates this shiny metallic substance that is just so delightful. Alrighty. Next up, what we're going to do is just get these little spiky bits, again with the gold. And I wanted to show you that if you lay it down and if you have one of those protein kind of drinks, you can use that as a topper or base holder if you're looking for larger things. All right, some primer, because I do like that light gray that occurs, but I'm also going to add in a little more darkness and depthness with it. Whatever's in my palette, I'm going to mix together for the stone to make like a unique kind of gray. We're starting off with some primer, right? Going to base coat, but we're not going to base coat 100% of the things because we keep on going back and forth with the different colors, just adding colors to stone. I don't like when stone is just one mono color. So if you want to dip your paint into a little bit of green with the stone, it'll give it character, or dip it into a little bit of brown or beige kind of colors, Talon sand, or you have your Ushanti bone that you can mix with it. I love doing rock where it's not just gray, but going back and forth with this, it was great. It was great getting all the different colors in the gray. That arch was fun to paint. For a larger model, you'd think it would be a nightmare, but it was not. It was not. All right, we're going to start off with some Caliban green, and we're going to do some of that warp flame. And then, of course, we're going to do a layer of warpstone glow. Then we have that mix with emerald green from Dalaran Rani, and then we're going to go all the way up to light green. But first, some dry brushing with some cold gray from Vallejo Game Color. Again, light dry brushing is the way to go. It adds very, very quick highlights, and yeah, for stone, hard to beat. Hard to beat. There was going for that warpstone glow. And I started mixing in a little bit of that emerald green in there, just so that on the brush, the colors kind of like swash a little bit. So emerald green, getting that step up, and then going in with the ink and adding it to the emerald green to get it a little lighter. You see, I have both on my palette right there. So just getting some layers, and the closer I get to the tip, the lighter it's going to be. I'm really happy with the way the warpstone, the glow of the miasma came out. I'm going to go back with some bootstrap leather for these cords over here, and then lightly going over the course with Seraphim Sepia, and dry brushing it with a Ushanti bone. It really makes it pop. And now it's time to go for a little bit of his fur. It's an old joke. Just going to Seraphim Sepia. This thing is coming out banging. I really enjoy it, but it's time for the guy on the top to start screaming, right? We got the leader on the top. So we're going to put him on there. We're going to start off with Screaming Skull. This is the kind of white that I want, like a nice ivory white to his coat. And slowly I put in just a little bit of glazing of light blue that I got into there. And now what I'm going to do is the skin and the flesh, which I'm going to have it brown. So I'm going to start off with a nice Ushanti bone and bring it up to a little Screaming Skull. And for the ultra highlights, of course, Wraith Bone is where it's at. So just wet blending on the face, doing those steps, slowly bringing in layer after layer with that. It's not buttery smooth transitions, and I'm okay with that because this is not for competition, so I'm not going to spend 10 million hours on it, but I still want it to look pretty fresh and pretty nice. And I think I achieved that. But now it's time for the base. Of course, you're going to have some stuff on the base that you're going to add to it. So I'm going to put some sand, I am going to put some coconut bark, I am going to mess around with some some pine bark as well. But first things first, I need to know where the wheels sit. So what I'm doing is getting a paint pen really quickly and putting on the outline. First, I do the outline sketch, and then I do some flat wheels, and then the inside as well. So this way I know exactly where to put my substrate and other kind of, basing materials. Knowing the height of the bottom of it as well, and you do have some clearance, so you can have some fun with this base and really make something unique. All right, I'm going to start off with some sand, and I'm going to add the bark and the coconut bark. I liberally add it here and there, some tufts and some fun stuff like that. Just really aggregates, little bits of stone and stuff like that. It is underneath the thing, so you're not really going to see it that much. That means you can go a little hog wild with it and just have some fun. And speaking of which, this project was a lot of fun. All right, well, this will do it for this tutorial. Now it's time for the grand reveal. Well, there you have it. The Screaming Bell is completely painted and ready for the gaming table and ready to take on my wife's flesh eater quartz, which should be a lot of fun, but I think I need more rats. Maybe I'll try another project before I get into the rats again. Here's a hint. Well, if you enjoyed this video, do all the YouTube things. That really helps the algorithm and definitely helps the channel. And paint every miniature to increase at least one of your skills. May your backlog get ever smaller.